The world is on the brink of a new economic order. For decades, the United States dollar has reigned supreme, the undisputed king of global finance. But now, a new challenger emerges from the East, China. With a rapidly growing economy and a bold strategy to reshape global trade, China is positioning its currency, the yuan, as a serious contender to the dollar's throne. This economic rivalry is not just about trade numbers or currency valuations, it's about global power and influence. As China's economic might grows, so does its geopolitical clout, challenging the long-standing dominance of the United States. The tensions between these two economic titans are escalating, with tariffs, sanctions, and accusations flying back and forth. The stakes are high, and the outcome of this economic clash will have profound consequences for the entire world. This is not just a trade war, it's a battle for the future of the global financial system. China's economic ascent has been nothing short of remarkable. Over the past few decades, the country has transformed itself from a poor agrarian society into a global manufacturing powerhouse and technological innovator. This extraordinary growth has been fueled by strategic government planning, massive investments in infrastructure, and a relentless focus on exports. China has meticulously built up its foreign exchange reserves, amassing trillions of dollars, largely through its trade surplus with the United States. These reserves have given China a powerful financial war chest, enabling it to weather economic storms and project its influence abroad. Recognizing the limitations of relying on the US dollar, China has been steadily laying the groundwork for an alternative financial system. This system would reduce China's dependence on the dollar, increase its control over its own financial destiny, and potentially challenge the dollar's global dominance. China's plan is shrewd and calculated, a long game aimed at gradually shifting the balance of economic power in its favor. The simmering economic tensions between the United States and China boiled over with the return of Donald Trump to the White House. In a move that shocked many observers, Trump slapped hefty tariffs on a wide range of Chinese goods, igniting a trade war that would have far-reaching consequences. Trump argued that these tariffs were necessary to protect American jobs and reduce the trade deficit with China. He accused China of unfair trade practices, intellectual property theft, and currency manipulation. China, however, denied these accusations, viewing Trump's actions as an attempt to contain its rise. The trade war escalated quickly, with both sides exchanging blows in the form of tariffs and trade barriers. The impact on the global economy was immediate, as businesses grappled with uncertainty and supply chains were disrupted. Trump's aggressive approach, while popular with some segments of his base, alienated many United States allies and further strained relations with China. China refused to back down in the face of Trump's trade offensive. Instead, Beijing responded with retaliatory tariffs of its own, targeting key American exports like soybeans and automobiles. The message was clear: China would not be bullied. But China's countermeasures went beyond tit-for-tat tariffs. Beijing began to actively promote the use of the yuan in international trade, particularly with countries like Russia, India, and those in Latin America. This move, while gradual, was a direct challenge to the dollar's dominance in global commerce. China also took aim at American companies operating within its borders, subjecting them to increased scrutiny, regulatory hurdles, and even boycotts. The message was unmistakable. China had the means and the will to defend its interests. China's response to Trump's trade war was measured but firm, a calculated strategy to protect its own economy and advance its long-term goals. Section 5: Gold-backed challenge to the dollar. China's most audacious move, however, lay in its financial maneuvering. Working with its BRICS partners, Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa, China began developing a new international payment system that would bypass the US-dominated SWIFT network. This new system, rumors suggested, would be backed by gold and potentially linked to a digital currency. If successful, it could undermine the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency, shifting power away from the United States and towards a new, multipolar financial order. The implications were staggering. A gold-backed digital currency, embraced by the BRICS nations and potentially others, could chip away at the dollar's dominance. Countries might feel less compelled to hold vast reserves of dollars, potentially leading to a decline in the dollar's value and a weakening of US economic influence. The possibility of a new financial order, one not dominated by the US dollar, sent shockwaves through global markets. Section 6. Allies caught in the crossfire. The escalating economic conflict between the United States and China placed America's allies in a difficult position. The United States urged its partners to side with Washington, to choose between the free world and an increasingly assertive China. However, many of these allies, while wary of China's growing might, were reluctant to abandon their economic ties with Beijing. China had become a vital trading partner and a source of investment for many nations. Moreover, some allies questioned the stability and predictability of the United States under the Trump administration. The United States' withdrawal from international agreements and its confrontational approach to foreign policy had sown doubt in the minds of some longtime partners. The United States found itself in a battle for influence not just with China, but also with its own allies, who were increasingly unwilling to blindly follow Washington's lead. Section 7. A world beyond the dollar. The potential decline of the dollar's dominance raised a fundamental question. What would a world without a single dominant currency look like? Some analysts predicted a multipolar system with regional currencies like the euro, the yuan, and perhaps even a digital currency backed by a basket of commodities playing a more prominent role. Others envisioned a more fragmented system with countries and companies conducting business in a variety of currencies depending on the specific transaction. Such a shift would have profound implications for global trade, finance, and geopolitics. It could lead to greater volatility in currency markets, increased transaction costs for businesses, and a redistribution of economic power. The world was entering uncharted territory, and the future of global finance hung in the balance. Section 8. A new financial order. The rise of China and the potential decline of the US dollar signal a seismic shift in the global financial order. The rules of the game are changing, and the outcome is far from certain. One thing is clear: China is a force to be reckoned with. Its economic might, strategic vision, and determination to reshape the global order are undeniable. The United States, while still a formidable economic power, faces significant challenges. Domestic political divisions, a growing national debt, and a waning appetite for global leadership have weakened its standing in the world. The future of the global financial system will likely be determined by the choices that both China and the United States make in the years to come. Section 9. The future of finance. The future of global finance is at a crossroads. Will the United States dollar maintain its dominance, or will the yuan, or perhaps a basket of currencies, emerge as a viable alternative? The answer to this question has profound implications for the global economy, international relations, and the balance of power in the 21st century. One thing is certain: the world is on the cusp of a new financial era, one characterized by greater competition, uncertainty, and the potential for both conflict and cooperation. The stakes are high, and the outcome will shape the destiny of nations for generations to come.